Nothing's really changed. The approaches have changed because obviously the outside's completely changed, the inside's changed. The approaches have changed a little bit, but they're pretty well sheltered, and they're very good approach lines for.
So in terms of those approaches, you know, a lot of those elements, a lot of those objects that were there before have completely been redesigned.
Yes, everything's been redesigned.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's get into the guts of this building. Jeremy, I know you're excited to break it down. We're going to be going floor by floor, starting with the third floor down all the way to the basement. So let's start with that third floor bomb sites, and we have ammo and tractor on the third floor. How you got a tractor on the third floor is beyond me, but you know, break down the strategy for this.
Ammo and tractor is actually one of the bomb sites that we actually had the most trouble with. It wasn't very viable, and we had to rework it a few times. It's a very open space with not too much cover, so it does make it quite tricky to actually go through and defend. There's no direct access really to a bomb site, so as per usual, you have to commit to the bomb site to actually go through and be able to attack it, or attack it fully. It's really interesting because you're looking for the attackers to come from the balcony or from the two stairs that come up.
Yeah, and we're going to be taking a look at that entranceway in just a moment, but you know, that strategy of defending from the balcony, from the outside, from the top. How is that for you as a designer to really design that defense point?
It's actually really fun to design something like that, and there's a few little tips and tricks you can actually use as an attacker. Remember, there is a drone vent up on the roof, so if you need to drone that bomb site, or if you need to drone any bomb site, you can go top down or bottom up. But what makes this so fun is there's so many avenues for the attackers to come at you from the stairs or from the balcony, so you can feint out the defenders quite easily.
Yeah, from the stairs or even the roof. I feel like there's going to be a lot of external rotations on this map
I think
for this bomb site.
I think you're going to find a lot of people, if they need to rotate, they'll go up on the roof and come down and rappel on the other side for sure.
And now that balcony is really important as well. Talk to us a little bit about that balcony. Why is that there?
The balcony's there to allow another option for the attackers to actually come in, but to also have another avenue for defense, because if you've only got two sets of stairs and a couple of windows, it's not really enough for fun gameplay. But you throw that balcony into the mix, it really does mix it up, and it's a very, very tense bomb site to defend.
One of the words that you described this bomb site was absolute chaos.
It's so much fun. Even when we're playtesting it internally, like you can hear the team screaming, like just because sometimes you just get hit and you just don't expect to know where it's coming from, and it just comes from every side, and there's not much covering. You're just running for hell. It's so much fun to play. I think the community is going to love this one.
And I mean, that's where we always start with on our maps. Our operators is fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to achieve here. All right, let's move on to the second floor. We have kids' room and master bedroom on the second floor. Let's take a look at these bomb sites here. Tell us a little bit about the strategy behind defending and attacking the second floor.
Kids' room, master bedroom is a really good area to go through and play. It's a very viable bomb site. It's an awful lot of fun. You see in the kids' bedroom, there's the bunk beds and there's the bomb right on the side, and it's really fun to try and defend the bomb. Like if you got someone staying back and trying to hold the area, and there's a lot of options to actually extend your defense on this floor for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned that verticality.
Yes.
And that verticality comes into play on the second floor really, really importantly, because you have those hatches, you have those line of sight floors on both sides.
Yeah.
On the floors and the ceilings. So how are players going to be defending against that verticality on this floor?
It's a tricky one. I haven't quite figured it out myself yet, but you'll generally find people there are areas that aren't actually destructible floor, and you'll find a lot of people will be rotating through those areas knowing that they've actually got a little safe passage for a period of time. But you can get shot, like you said, from above or from below, so you're never really safe.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key things on this new rework is that verticality, and we'll see it throughout the map entirely on that third floor, on that second floor. And now let's move on to the first floor, where we have kitchen dining room. Tell us about the strategies that you'll see on kitchen dining room, and what has changed on the first floor, Jeremy?
Okay, what's changed on the first floor is there was that massive choke.
That massive hallway where you have the choke point at the entrance and the choke point at the stairs, and chaos in the middle. So is that still there?
No, that's not there anymore.
Okay.
the entire floor plan for the entire map has changed, but you know, obviously you don't want choke points when you're designing a map, so we've taken as many of the choke points, you know, as you can actually out of the map. So the corridor's not straight. You've still got quite good line of sight. You know, playing with a mirror wall is actually really quite fun. Well, actually, on all the bomb sites is really fun. But I find that playing a mirror on this site is really nice, and because you can destroy the walls between the two bomb sites, it allows for really fast rotations. But it is the ground floor, so you've also got the problem of you're defending the windows because the attackers can get to you really quickly, or they can just come through the basement up the stairs.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those bomb sites that are it's really fun to play, but you need to get your strats down really well to figure out what you're going to do, and communication is key.
Speaking of coming in through the basement, let's take a look at our basement map, or basement bomb sites, where we have brewery and fermentation room. Now, as a UK man yourself, I am very pleased to see that there's a brewery in the basement of Hereford.
Well, it's
only fitting.
It's the SAS. I'm sure the SAS drink a fair amount of beer. It's a great thematic, you know. When it's cold and rainy outside, you want to drink some beer,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Basement's really fun. There's a couple of big objects for the fermentation tanks that are bulletproof, so you've got a long line where you can actually shoot through and go back and forth, which is really nice.
And one of the key things is we're taking a look at the tunnel right now, which is a new addition. Why did you add this tunnel? What is so key about this?
If you put a basement in the ground and you've only got 2 sets of stairs, it's not fun because you know exactly where the attackers are going to come from. They're going to come from the stairs. So you can't do that because it won't be fun, and then we'll have the same problem again with the original Hereford, which is they're only going to play the one viable bomb site because it's easy to defend.
Right.
You add the tunnel on the outside, and then you add the garage, which is off on the side as well. It allows the attackers to actually have more ways to actually enter the building, and it makes for a much more interesting defense as well.
Much more interesting defense, and a much more interesting map, because you have that access point and people can enter it, the attackers can enter it through the basement to attack the first floor, and they can use it as, of course, on that basement approach as well, but that becomes so crucial.
Of course, it's one of those things where, you know, when you watch the pros plays and you watch you know, ranked level players play, you watch them droning a lot of the time, and this map allows for droning from the basement, so you can go through and check for the roamers, and it allows from roaming from the top as well, so you can actually come down with your drone from the roof, and you're in relative safety on the roof, and you're in relative safety outside when you're down by the basement as well. So it allows anyone that's playing a roaming game and a droning out game to actually allows them a lot of options for sure.
A lot of options, a lot of creativity, a lot of strategy that I'm sure we'll see once this hits the test server. But before we close out Hereford, how would you, what are some of the key takeaways that you want the community to know about?
The most important thing when you approach this map is remember it's a brand new map, but the 2 stairwells are definitely key. The drone vent on the roof and definitely the balcony on the side, because you know, they're the 3 elements that are really going to allow players to actually get in and explore the map quickly and get to their objective fast.
Why did you feel it's so necessary to add that second stairwell?
It's mainly for navigation and flow. You know, when we design maps in Montreal, we look at navigation, flow, verticality, and viability of bomb sites. 1 set of stairs isn't enough for navigation and flow, and it doesn't allow for very good rotations. So obviously you need to add a second set of stairs. Now, when you've got 2 sets of stairs, you're essentially creating 2 choke points where you can get stopped quite quickly. So if you add the balcony as another option, you know, it allows people to run around and roam much easier. So it allows the verticality in the roaming game to be much stronger. Yeah,
and of course, as we also wrap up with the balcony becomes that amazing external approach for the attackers, and a potential nightmare for the defenders as well.
I wouldn't say nightmare. I'd say it's just it's kind of fun, because when you get it right, it feels so good.
So good.
But when you're slightly off your game and you're not hitting your shots, yeah, it can lead to a world of pain very quickly.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Because the attackers can utilize that approach and get cut off or get a frag in the early game as as they're picking off the defender in that area, guarding that area. They can really utilize that and take that to their advantage.
It's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing the way the strats come out and the way people play the game. I've been watching people in the free play area playing the map, and it's really interesting to see what they're doing on the map because it's beautiful.
I've heard incredible feedback from everybody that I've talked to here at Paris about the map, about the operators, and we'll get to the operators in just a moment. But that is your first look at Hereford Base. I'm so excited for players to discover that balcony, discover those stairs, discover the verticality, and fewer spawn peaks as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm sure Amelia is very sad to hear.
Oh, there's definitely less spawn peaks for sure. Like, we shut those down pretty early in production because yeah, no one likes spawn peaks and no one likes to get killed at the spawn point. Oh,
Amelia loves spawn peaks. Let's be honest. He spawn peaks everyone. Well, that is your first look at Hereford Base, coming your way to the test server on Monday, August 20th. That's tomorrow. You'll get to play this tomorrow on the test server on PC. So without further ado, let's get into our operators. We have our two